Welcome to the Simple Times Podcast, Simple Sessions, and Happy Veterans Day. On this Simple Sessions, I was away from the studios, so Andrew took over and he decided that he should interview, a U.S. Army veteran, his coworker Frankie. Listen in as Frankie shares his military experiences from boot camp up to his final days in service. We'll be back again soon with a regular episode, but for now, listen to this one. Here's Andrew, and thanks for listening, and Happy Veterans Day.
I have Frankie here at Beach House Studios. Welcome. So happy you can be here.
Yeah, looks good in here. I like your little drum set.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stands out here. But welcome to a Simple Sessions of the podcast. And for those new listeners, I just want to reiterate what that is. Simple Sessions is like a deviation from the regular episodes where we kind of focus in on a specific topic or idea or have an interview. And Frankie, I hope that you're honored that you're our first guest on the Simple Sessions.
Ooh, first?
First.
You sure?
100%.
I've been told I was the first before, and that was a lie.
And the reason why you're here today is because it's Veterans Day. Well, at least when this episode comes out, it's going to be Veterans Day. But you're here because out of the people that I know, you are a veteran.
Yeah. Well, I'm like the most stable one that you know, probably.
I don't know about that.
Fair enough.
But Frankie's here, and he's served in our U.S. military. He's taken a bullet for our country. He almost died twice and shot and killed many just innocent lives. Right?
Yeah, that is true. No, I'm just playing. Just for the record, everything that he just said about that is a lie. Yeah. Never got to shoot anyone. Never killed anyone. So I was mainly stateside during my whole service time.
Sounds good. Well, if you know me, Frankie, I like to joke around. So,
yeah, no, but we got to put it out there. I'm not that badass.
Of course. But you're a veteran, and then we met at work. You joined the Postal Service with me. We both worked together delivering that mail.
Yeah.
If you think about it, how fortunate are we to be delivering near a beach, where we could have been delivering like South Central LA or something.
Oh, that's great. Like when I saw the Redondo Beach pop up, I was like, yep, I'm going to sign for that one. My other one was Huntington Beach.
Oh.
But then I got an email back about getting the job for here at Redondo. So I was like, all right, cool. Nice. I'm not going to end up in the hood.
And then I remember when you first came in to the post office and I saw you, I was like, man, I hope this guy doesn't start talking to me. I hope he stays away. I'm not here to make new friends. And then one Sunday we're delivering Amazon packages, and then you just started cracking jokes, and I'm like, you know what, this guy's actually pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, you were quiet the whole time, and you were kind of making it awkward, so I was like, yeah, he doesn't know what to say.
You got to remember that all my friends got promoted in the job, and so I was like the only like OG CCA PTF carrier, and I'm like, man, all my friends are not here anymore, and so it made me not want to be there anymore. And then I'm like, okay, maybe this Frankie guy's not that bad.
And then Frankie to the rescue. Now I'm in that same situation. Everyone I was. Because I was like the newest one. Now I'm the veteran of them, of the CCAs, and everyone is below me, and so I'm like, great, I got to go help them now.
Man, and it's funny because like a year ago, I was in your spot where I was the number one.
Yeah,
and trust me, once you move from your CCA position to regular, it gets a little better. I mean, it's all the same, but you'll have your Sundays off, and then life will be a little bit better.
I get 2 days off.
Yeah. But enough about the Postal Service. We're not here to talk about the Postal Service. We're here to talk about triumphant moment in your life where you could look back and say, I served my country because this country is the greatest country on God's green earth. And I just want to ask you a couple questions. You've seen in movies where people go into the military for different reasons. Some people are like, well, my father joined the military, and his father joined the military, and that father's father joined the military. So I'm from a line of military people, and I want to join. And anyway, people have different reasons. Some people say, oh, this is my country, I want to serve because I believe in my country or whatever. But anyway, I'm sure yours is just as grand and great, right? The reason why you want to join the military, right?
Yeah. So the reason I joined is because my friend, he was actually, hey, let's go join the Army. I was like, I'm down. So we go take the ASVAB, and I pass, he doesn't, and I go. So yeah, that's my great heroic story of joining the Army.
So what about your friend? What ended up happening to him?
He ended up not joining. He ended up going off and doing his own thing. I still see him every now and then, but sometimes it just works out that way. But honestly, like, even when I was younger, I always thought maybe join the Army. That'd be pretty cool, because I always liked watching like the war movies and all that. Even till this day, I still like watching them, because like it's not just because of the action, because there's also like drama in it, but then being able to see how actually everything is, you're like, okay, some of these movies are not realistic at all.
Well, the number one movie that comes to mind for me, and maybe it's because it's like the first full-length war movie that I saw, and I think it impacted me, was Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but some of the scenes and images, it can't escape my mind. I'm always thinking about it and looking at it from different angles. I think it was directed by Steven Spielberg, and I think he did a fantastic job with that movie. I think it still holds up. It's pretty good. The actors are good. I think I've had enough of Tom Hanks, to be honest. But, he was actually pretty good in that one.
Yeah.
What war movies come to your mind?
Well, yeah, one of my first ones was also Saving Private Ryan.
Nice.
Just like the seeing it and all, like, I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Like, yeah, it's like crazy. You never know if you're gonna be the one that gets shot and die, or be the one with their arm blown off or something like that, like as you saw in the movie.
Right.
But seeing like how close everyone was and how they're making this horrible time into like a good time. That's what I was like kind of like into, like not into, but like how you would say like that brotherhood, because I never grew up with any kind of brothers, always sisters. I grew up in a house full of fucking girls. So, but yeah, the funny thing about that movie is like when that movie came out, they had a whole hotline for like World War II veterans, because it was so realistic with like the whole beach landing and all that.
Right.
And they're getting like thousands of calls.
I had no idea this was a thing. That's crazy. Yeah, that movie is intense. One of the scenes that always stands out to me is that wimpy guy that his job was supposed to like bring the bullets.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to take ammo to the machine gunners.
Yeah, and then he was just so scared that because he couldn't complete his task, like one of his buddies gets like stabbed.
Oh yeah, because he was scared of getting like killed, and also like he heard the fighting upstairs. And he was I'm not even sure what job it was, but he was pretty much working at a desk the whole time. Then they needed a new translator because theirs died during the beach landing, and they got him, and you could tell from the beginning he's the really nervous one. Like he's really scared. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to be behind the desk. So that was like his first time like having to deal with that to that extent, like where he could go in and save someone, but he froze up and decided to sit there on the stairs and cry.
Yeah, that was just heart-wrenching, because I think maybe there's a little bit of that person in all of us, which is why I like this movie, because you see different characters, and you can kind of relate with them, and you always wonder, what would you do in this situation? So even though, yeah, that guy was kind of a wuss at that moment, you also kind of think, what would happen if I was there, where people were getting, bullets flying all over the place? Like, how would I react?
Yeah. So a lot of people think is like, oh yeah, like I would have ran in, yada, and all that. But like, you got to realize that the guy that was like, that could have went in, he was carrying the ammo and all, the one that like cried and all, he didn't know them that well. He was only with them for maybe a week, and they're like, they didn't know him, so he was ostracized and cast on the outcast of all of them throughout the whole movie. So he was all like, am I going to put my life on the line to save him? The person that's like been mean to me and doesn't want to talk to me, or I'm just going to stay here and let him die and possibly survive. So, but like, it depends on the whole bond. Because if it was like someone like I was really close to, I would have jumped in right there and then started helping them.
Right.
So that's what a lot of people in that watch it that weren't in the military, they see is like, oh, like I would have jumped in, but there's people that you don't like in the military too. So it also depends. So like, if you get like close to people, it's good. But if you don't like someone, then it could be bad for you, and if they don't like you, depending on the whole situation.
Right. Yeah, there's just so many layers that you can look at, and like, who knows what you would do in any given situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, a movie that I want to see that's on Netflix.
Which one?
Hacksaw Ridge. Did you see that one? I think
I
it's
actually
a Mel
did.
Gibson film.
I saw it when I was in Texas with some of my army buddies.
And what I find interesting about that movie is about the main character, because of his beliefs, doesn't want to do any combat or killing, right?
He doesn't want to carry a weapon.
He doesn't want to carry a weapon. That's the whole thing about that movie.
Yeah, that's actually based on a true story.
Right, which, one of the reasons why I like those types of films, or I've heard Mel Gibson speak that he likes movies where it's like he likes redemption stories.
Yeah.
You see that in Hacksaw Ridge, Apocalypto. That one was insane.
Yeah, Apocalypse was crazy.
Crazy.
Like, if you like that, you'd probably like it's a mini series. It's like 10 episodes. It's directed by Tom Hanks. It's Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, it's really good. It follows the Easy Company of the 101st Airborne, and they're dropping D-Day all the way to the end of the war.
Nice.
It's really good.
I remember you telling me about that, so I'm gonna have to look for that on Netflix. Band of Brothers. It sounds good. Tell us about boot camp. I kind of want to know about that. Was it like Full Metal Jacket stuff? Did you see one of your buddies blow his head off?
No, surprisingly. No, I'm playing.
Do you remember day one? What it was like?
So, depending on what you're talking about, because there's I can't remember what they call it. But before you go in, like your official first day of boot camp, you
like
have
an
to do all
orientation
this.
or something?
Yeah, you do orientation pretty much. You're getting all these shots. You're going to all these classes. You're getting all this paperwork done, and that sucks because you're getting very little sleep.
Oh.
Then after all that, the people that get through all that, because surprisingly, people do quit in that process because they're getting yelled at, trying to go here, there, and there by drill sergeants. Which it's not. The drill sergeants there are supposed to take it more lightly, which they do. So after that, some people do quit in that process. You get after the whole process, you get on a bus. They take you over to where you're going to be pretty much living for like the next 2.5 months.
Whoa.
When I was in, they do some.
How old were you?
I was. How old was I? 22.
22. Okay, early 20s.
Yeah, I was like
Young
22.
Frankie. All right.
Yeah. So they take you to the place that you're gonna be living at for the next like 2.5 months. They do something called a shark attack. They don't do it anymore because they're trying to raise a whole bunch of pussies.
Well, thanks for filling us in on your opinions.
Yeah.
What's shark attack?
So they take you on. You're on the bus. You're going there. Everything's like calm. You're like everyone's kind of excited to see how it is, how it's gonna be. You have your bag on you in the front of you. It's like a big green duffel bag with all your stuff in it. It's loaded on. It's front loaded, so it's like instead of being on your back, it's on the front of you.
Okay.
So then, when you get there, all the buses stop. They park. Doors open. Drill sergeants walk in. They're like, "All right, this is about to happen. We need you guys to get off the bus, and all." But they're yelling at you, and then it goes from the front to the back. So front starts getting off. Everyone jumping off. I literally fell off the bus.
Oh man!
Someone stepped on my strap for my bag, and when I went to like take my last step off the bus, it like. All their weight was on that strap, so like kind of like flung me to the back, and I ended up falling on my back.
Oh man!
And the drill sergeant was like, "Roll over!" I was like, "I roll over" because I got the wind knocked out of me. Dang. And people are still going, and it was like, he walks up to me, and as people are still jumping off the bus, he's like, "Hey, are you good?" And in a calm voice, I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm good." He's like, "Get the fuck up!" It's like, I was like, "Oh yes, drill sergeant." I take off running. I get up and take off running. I was like, "Yeah, that was like, that was my first day. Day one, I literally fell off the bus."
Dang.
Then they tell you when you're on the bus, if someone like falls down, don't help them up and all. Some girl in front of me, like we had to run like a whole lap around the whole area of our building. Some girl fell down. She's like, and curled up in fetal position. She's like, "I don't want to do this." Like I saw like, cause she was like maybe like 40, 50 feet ahead of me when she fell down.
Oh,
and
man.
I just fucking jumped right over her. I was like, "Nope, I'm not going to get yelled at." But yeah, that was day one. Then they just smoke you, which is them pretty much exercising you to muscle failure.
Dang.
Yeah, then that's
Dude,
a shark attack.
That's insane. Dude, I don't think I would have made it because in high school, my best time for, the mile,
Yeah.
we had to run. For some reason, I could never get it under 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I was just a bad runner. I don't know what it is, but I guess, I don't know. I wasn't a guy running. I would not have made the shark attack.
Yeah, my fastest run in high school was like 5 minutes and 45
Dang,
seconds.
Sprinting.
Well, I was on the baseball team.
Oh, okay.
And we were like on par with the cross country runners because our coach had us run so much.
No, that's good. That's good. Man, that's insane.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stories I have of basic, but that's like day one. That's what I remember the most because I literally fell off the bus.
And you were the only one?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I made it all the way through. You get people that like quit within like the first week, 2 weeks, halfway through, and all. But like after the halfway point, and no one quit after the halfway point because everyone's like, "All right, this is it." They got to weed out the week.
Yeah. They were probably like, if I can't do this, it's a night forever. So you decided to go with the Army. So I have some family members. I have a cousin who married an Air Force man. He was in the Air Force. But you decided Army. Any reason why you went with Army?
I do have a lot of family in the not military, the Marines.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of them are even saying, "Don't join the Marines."
Oh, okay. So they kind of talked you out of it.
Yeah, and plus I didn't really have an interest in the Marines either. It wasn't something I was interested in.
What did they say, or what? Why did they talk you out of the Marines?
They're saying it's a lot easier in the Army to an extent. You get better equipment and all. It's less depressing, pretty much. They take better care of you in the Army.
They were thinking about your mental health.
Yeah, but it's not to shit on the Marines. They are pretty badass to an extent. But
I met a Marine one time at Arby's before they tore down that Arby's in Redondo.
yeah.
he was a retired Marine, and he seemed like the happiest, just happiest dude. He was like, "Oh yeah, retired from the Marines. They're trying to get me to extend my service in the Marines," and I was like, "No, I'm okay." And he's like, "Oh yeah, life's good." He just had this happy-go-lucky outlook on life. I'm like, "Wow, how'd that happen?" You would think they'd be like, I don't know, stern and I don't know, grumpy or I don't know, but I don't know.
He probably saw some shit and he's like, oh, you know what, this is a lot better than what I used to deal with.
Probably. Another thing that comes to mind with the military is boot camp, and you talked about the shark attack.
Yeah.
Was that part of boot camp, or was boot camp something separate?
That's part of boot camp. That's
Okay.
your first like initiation in.
So you got initiated, and then what did you do? Just a lot of physical things like running around, jumping over hurdles,
pretty much
crawling under barbed wire and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not like a montage like you see in the movies. There's a lot of other stuff in between that's really boring.
Oh, okay.
So there's like yeah, you do all that stuff that you see in the movies, but it's not like back to back to back to back. There's a lot of repetition of training, like weapons training, knowing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. It's just a lot of that. It was just like to put discipline in there. So they want you to know all these things and all, but then when you do those barbed wire things and all that, that's like actually the fun part.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, because like you do a lot of studying and reading that people don't know that. They just think, oh, I saw Full Metal Jacket, like it's balls to the wall all the fucking time. I'm like, nah, it's really fucking boring.
Oh,
You're sleep deprived.
oh, so you're tired?
Yeah.
Is there classes where like you're teaching or you're learning things, like as in like classes or history classes or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so sometimes you're sitting there on the floor because there's no desks, like where I was at least. I don't know if they do have desks now or whatever, but yeah, you're just in there. The drill sergeants are the teachers pretty much. They're teaching you all this stuff, which is, there's a lot. And respect to them because they got to deal with fucking stupid ass people sometimes.
I can only imagine the type of people you came across there.
Yeah.
Is there any funny moment that stands out to you? I remember you sharing me stuff. I remember training you for Sunday parcel deliveries at work, and we rode in the ProMaster, and you were telling me all kinds of stories about like riding in the Army vehicles or something. And anyway, is there? Because I remember you telling me all kinds of stuff because. Yeah, I trained you. I think maybe that's how we got along. We got to learn about each other when I was training you parcel delivery. But what's a funny moment in the military that stands out, or just one thing? Just one thing.
Well, like being put on the spot, I can't really think of it. But let's see. The funniest thing. Well, just the funniest thing is when someone falls asleep. You don't fall asleep. If you're in the military, do not fall asleep. You're going to get fucked with.
So what do you mean? I mean, obviously you have to sleep, but what do you mean don't fall asleep? Like you're in the middle of the day? Or?
Like if you're in the truck and you're just waiting like for something to happen, like because like what I was 88 Mike, so we're pretty much driving supplies, people everywhere. And sometimes you're just waiting there for hours and hours. Do not fall asleep because like if the person that doesn't fall asleep, they're going to get bored. Like, because I would never fall asleep whenever we're on doing something like that. And my passenger would always fall asleep, always mess with them.
What'd you do to them?
I'll just start screaming and they'll like jolt and wake up. They're like, what? Like,
just scaring the pants off of them,
or I'll
basically.
I'll put some water in my hand and toss it onto their face.
Man, that's funny.
Or just like take videos of them, like, and then they feel something like a camera close to them or the phone close to them. They wake up. They're like, "What are you doing?" But just if you're in the military, do not fall asleep.
You're subject to being pranked, basically. That's funny. That's funny. Growing up, my parents, I mean, they obviously respect the military and I'm very thankful for the people who serve in our military, because I do believe the USA is the best country in the world. But my parents, they always steered me away from the military. They didn't want me to go down that route for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I never really asked them why, but I think maybe they were just scared about, I don't want my kids to die and be sent to war, because my parents, they grew up in El Salvador, where I think there was war and turmoil in that country, which made them come here to the U.S. And so I think maybe that's a reason why they always steered me away. But I respect everything that people who've been in the military have done. So thank you, Frankie, for your service on this Veterans Day 2023. Thank you for doing that for our country. But obviously, you finished your service in the military.
Yeah. No more. I can't even get drafted anymore.
And you can't even get drafted. Lucky you. I could be delivering the mail, and Joe Biden could just one day say, "Hey, Reyes, you're in the front lines.
Yep.
Go try not to get killed and kill some people."
Yeah.
You just take a back seat and just relax and
Yeah.
I don't know, drink some brews like
Right now.
Fun fact, this is the first time I've ever podcasted and drank
A burr.
an IPA. And thank you, Frankie, for being so generous.
And you have to drink another one because you made me drink two.
If I drink one more, I'll probably just pass out because I have a low tolerance for alcohol.
That's fine. You're at home anyways.
That's true. I could just go fall
Okay,
asleep.
if you drink one more, I'll drink the third one.
I haven't even finished the first one.
How far are you?
It's like right here, maybe a quarter left.
So yeah, you have like a quarter left. I'm at a quarter left on my second one.
Well, you're a huge drinker because you're a veteran.
Well, yeah,
The Army messed you up.
They issued me depression, and I fix it with alcohol.
For our listeners, we don't condone alcoholism, but I respect your right to drink.
It's called dark humor.
But once again, thank you for the IPA.
Mm-hmm.
It's very tasty. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, you've done your time. You served.
Yeah.
You won't get caught in that draft. So you had to assimilate back to regular civilian life, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was that? How did it feel after your last day of being in the Army over, coming back to your house or whatever? Like, what was that like?
It was great. I was already checked out my last year, and all the sergeants, the officers knew I was checked out. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with the bullshit. And once I got out, I'm pretty sure they were a lot happier because I made their life hell.
Oh, you gave them a hard time.
Yeah,
Made their lives miserable.
Yeah, I cussed out a few people I shouldn't have, but I was in the right, so they could have done something, but then it will fall back on them, and they know I would take them down with me. So they didn't try. But yeah. But sometimes they need it, because I did cuss out a staff sergeant.
Wow.
When I was in Kuwait. He didn't do nothing about it. He didn't try to demote me or anything like that. And after that, he became a even better staff sergeant. Sometimes people need to you need to get cussed out like Andrea needed that day.
For the record, Frankie, he's got some stones on him. He cussed out our night supervisor at work, and
it changed her.
It probably changed her, and it made me grow a stronger respect for you. Because me growing up, I was raised to respect the people above you, that kind of thing. So my last resort would be to cuss someone out.
That is my last resort, but when you push and push, there's a point where I'm just gonna snap. I'm not gonna take that disrespect.
No.
So
that's good. I mean, you should have your, your morals, your foundations, things that you stand upon. you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, more power to you and people who want to cuss out their staff sergeants.
Yeah. Like, and respect to him because even to like now, like he did become a better staff sergeant after that. Everyone noticed.
Wow.
And, like me and him were cool. Like if he called me, maybe a few months after I got out, he's like, "Oh, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good." And we were just talking. Like me and him were cool. Like nothing. He learned a lot from me. I learned a lot from him. It's just a respect after that.
So you checked out. Everybody knew it.
Yeah.
You left, and you felt great. You said.
Yeah.
Well, anything you remember doing as soon as you came home?
Hanging out with a lot of my friends back here. We're hanging out. Then like for like 2 weeks. Then like 2 weeks after that, like after I got out, COVID hit. So I was stuck in my house. Can't go anywhere because I was already planning like a whole bunch of trips to go, like Texas, go back and see some friends. Me and my friends when I was in Korea with, we wanted to go to Korea and do that. All that got put on hold because of the whole COVID-19 pandemic. So after 2 weeks after I got out, I was like, I'm stuck at home. Can't do nothing. Don't got a job because I was planning to like take those like 3 months off for like. Because every time I put in leave for the Army, it always get declined. So I was like...
That's insane. Just thinking about 3 years ago, this pandemic thing, it's just insane. I just can't believe we went through something like this where basically the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
Just nonsense in my head. But that sucks.
Yeah. Like what I would do like during the whole time was like every now and then I'll just go and drive around. I drove all the way down to Culver City, PCH. I took the freeway back. It took me like 10 minutes to get home. 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no one out there.
There's something nice about driving around. My co-host on this podcast, Marcelo, before we started podcasting again, we were just... You pick me up, we drive and just chit chat on the car. We drive through Manhattan Beach and whatever. And something about driving is quite nice. However, sometimes, or at least nowadays, I'm like sick and tired of driving. I know it's because we drive those LLVs at work.
Yeah.
But back when I was younger, like I wouldn't mind driving to Big Bear or somewhere far. But now, I don't know if I'm just getting old, but...
Yeah, things age. So that was the same way. It's like, I was always the driver. Like, I was always driving us, like, me and my friends everywhere. And now I'm like, last time, like, my friends were like, let's go to Vegas. I was like, okay, I'll drive. When I drove all the way to Vegas, I'm tired. So, like, they were trying to plan another Vegas trip. I was like... I'm flying. I'm not going to drive again. I was like, by the time we got to Vegas, I was dead tired.
Yeah. Like in the early, when you're in your early 20s, like driving's the coolest thing. Like I could drive for hours, but now that's like the last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just an old man thing, but I don't know. Is there anything you miss about being in the military? In the Army?
I would say the people. Like you make connections with people that you can't make out into the civilian world. But it's probably because you do a lot more trauma bonding in the military than you do in the civilian world. So because you're all going through the same stuff, you're miserable. I would say like 75% of the time. But yeah, just the people. Other than that, like, well, sometimes like shooting the big guns and all that, like the 240s, the 50s. The biggest gun I shot was it's not even considered a gun. I say gun for most people because they're like, oh, that's a gun. Is the Mark 19. It's a automatic grenade launcher.
Wow.
That was cool to shoot, but I would not want to shoot it because it all does is jam. Every time I used it, it'll shoot like maybe like 2 or 3 rounds and jam. I'm like, man.
The grenade launcher?
Yeah. It's automatic grenade launcher.
So, how does that work? If it jams, do you have a live grenade like right in front of you?
Pretty much. It's not like live. It's how do I put it? So it's like a bullet, pretty much. It has a primer. It has that has to get hit for it in order to get launched. So when it jams, it means like the whatever's the mechanism that's supposed to hit the primer doesn't get to it and just gets stuck. So you gotta drop the grenade the ammunition for it. Then you gotta go through your steps to unjam it to get it to unjam. Then for it to work again. Then you do it again, shoots like 2 or 3, then jams again. So it's the whole process. It's not as scary as it is because like if you know that primer's not pushed in, you're good.
Okay.
And plus, we were using training rounds, which is like pretty much like a paintball.
Right. No, because the only thing that comes to mind is that Saving Private Ryan, when that guy has that grenade in his hand and he doesn't know what to do with it. He's just like, and then it just explodes and you just see him disintegrate.
No.
That always comes to mind when I think of grenades.
Yeah. Well, there is that possibility is when you do actual hand grenade is the one where you pull the pin, and there is a extremely small chance. I can't remember the percentage because they did give us that percentage of it. Right when you pull that pin, it blows up in your face, but it's like 1 in like 2 million or something.
Okay, all right. Well that's good. Hopefully that leaves peace of mind to whoever's thinking about pulling a pin with their mouth.
If you try to pull a pin with your mouth, you're gonna lose some teeth.
Oh, it's
not like how in the movies. Oh. No, that thing is so hard to pull. Like you gotta like twist and pull at the same time to get that thing out. So like when you see in the movies of them pulling the pin with their teeth, nah, that's not true.
All right, final questions. Aside from learning to cuss people out, is there anything else that you've taken away from serving in the military that you think's made you a better person? You know, aside from cussing out our supervisor.
What do you mean? Like
for example, when I think of people in the military that have served, you know, I'm very thankful for them because I think it's an honorable thing. Do you feel like maybe you've done something honorable? Feel a certain way about having served in the military?
No. I don't think it makes me better than anyone, per se. But because like the people that join, it's a very small percentage of Americans that join. It's like 1% of Americans join.
I didn't think it was that low. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1%.
Wow.
It's very low. So, yeah, it doesn't make me better or anything. It does put you in a better financial space than some people. Not all. Depending on where you grow up.
I wonder if that's a main factor why people join for, like, you know, you're always going to have some type of, like, U.S. benefits, right?
Yeah.
Like government benefits.
Yeah, if I ever, like, come down with something bad, then I could probably just go to the VA, go to the emergency room, and it's free.
Nice.
That's what I did that one time when I was working here at the post office, and I was like, I gotta go. Like, my back's killing me and all that. Like, end up being like super sick. They had to end up hooking me up to an IV. Dang. And all that, and all that cost me $0.
Nice. So that's a good incentive to join. You get some pretty good benefits. Last question I want to ask you about being in the military is what advice would you give someone who's maybe thinking about it, or anything you would say to somebody who's thinking about joining? What would you tell them?
What would I tell them? I don't know, honestly. It's not going to be how you think it is.
Not like in the movies?
No. So I thought it was going to be like super hard, like going back to basic. I thought it was going to be like way harder and all that. Then like, I was kind of like, at the end of it, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, that was it? Like, I thought it was going to be way harder. Like how it was like in the movies. I was like, it was pretty easy. from what I hear, it's a lot easier now. So, hey, if you want to join, it's easy. So go for it. It does come with a lot of benefits, but it does come with a lot of BS in the middle of all of it. You're not going to be 100% happy. You're not going to be 100% sad or anything. It's going to be 50-50. You're going to have your good days, your bad days. And it also depends on who you hang out with. You don't want to get in trouble. It's just a part of growing up. It's like, I would say the military in general is more like high school to an extent.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. So you still got all those people that are like dumbasses. Then you got the smart ones. Then you got the ones that are all that think they're all cool. And it just depends on who you put yourself with. As long as you put yourself with some good people, you're good. Just don't be stupid. Don't do anything stupid. What I liked about every Friday, they'll do a safety brief before the weekend because that's when people usually get in trouble. They would always say, don't add to the population and don't subtract from the population, and you're good.
That's funny. That sounds like it sounds like normal everyday life. Like you'll have your good days, you'll have your bad days.
Yeah.
And that's just true from day one of living in this world, I think, is, hang out with good people, try to stay away from bad people, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. It pretty much is. Like, it's pretty much like a normal job. It's like the stigma that the military gets is like, oh, everyone, if you join the military, you're going out and killing everybody. No. It's like only 1 or 2% of the jobs in the military, or maybe 3%, I'm not sure, is like for combat. The rest of it is like sitting behind a desk. There's like electricians, plumbers, etc. But like things like 2 to 3% of the jobs in the military require combat. Everything else is behind a desk or something.
Right.
Like you could go and be a cook.
That's true.
You don't got to see combat at all.
Yeah. I just thought about something. Another coworker of ours works as a janitorial position. Mm-hmm. I just found out she was in the Navy.
Oh yeah, I just told you that, and you're just like, what?
I had no idea. Yeah. Did you find out more information about what she does?
I can't remember exactly what she did. But she was in the Navy. She was on a ship. She was part of ship crew. I'm not sure exactly what she did, but I give her shit every now and then. Like I saw her pants tucked into her boots. I was like, "Wow, are you serious?" She's like, "What? Are my boots not shining enough?" I was like, "No, you got your pants tucked into your boots." She's like, "Man," she's like, "Go! Don't you got a truck to load?" I was like, "Man, you're right, but yeah, some habits die hard, huh?"
I've seen her with her pants tucked in her boots. I never put 2 and 2 together, but yeah, that is kind of weird.
It's a military thing. You can't. Your pants have to be tucked into your boots, or they have to be bloused.
Oh, I didn't know.
They don't go past like a certain point in your boot.
I didn't know that. So, That's funny. But yeah, now she works as a janitor, and it's been like 2-3 weeks, and we still haven't gotten paper towels in our men's restroom.
Which isn't her fault. I'll put that out there.
All right, true. It's not her fault.
I blame her for it, but she knows I'm just fucking with her. The post office won't sign the fucking papers to get toilet papers or paper towels for the restrooms for some reason. I don't know why.
Man, it's been that way ever since the pandemic. I feel like we've always been short on toilet paper.
I wonder why. Thanks, CNN.
All right, Frankie. I want to thank you personally for coming on to Simple Times Podcast, being our first interviewed guest on Simple Sessions. It's been fun.
Oh, I had a great time.
Any final words?
No, nothing that won't be offensive, but so I'll keep it to myself.
All right, right, we'll say that for another day.
Success, be nobleness, and every gain divine. And you know, when I was in school, we used to sing something like this. Listen here. Oh, beautiful, far spacious skies, far amber waves of grain, far purple mountain majesties, above the fruited plain. But now wait a minute, I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good. Yes, he did. Heavy brotherhood from sea to shining sea. You know, I wish I had somebody to help me sing this. America, I love you, America. You see,